People, if you don't have a good cast to start with, you got a problem in a kayak, okay? Or wading or anything else. So your cast has to be at least good for you to be able to pull all this off. All right, boys and girls, I've got to hold on to my microphone today because I'm in the water. And I want to give you guys a quick lesson on how to cast a fly rod from a kayak. Now, the kayak I have is an Old Town Sportsman 11.9. It is about as low as you can go in the water from a seated position. Now, the thing is, for those of you that can stand on a kayak and have a stand on top or a sup, different story, because you already have the advantage of being able to stand off the water. The way I look at this, there's a couple of things you can do, and there's a lot of things you don't need to do to make your casting from a kayak successful. And one thing you don't need to do is you don't need to buy a longer rod. You don't need to invest in any kind of weird lines or anything like that. It's really actually a question of arm position and or your body position in the kayak. So what we're going to do is look at this from a fly casting perspective. I got a really windy day out here. I can see that some of my cameras are like rocking and rolling. I'm out of the wind here, but we're going to take a look, and I'm going to start by showing you my boat as it would be today if I were actually out here fishing. There are fish everywhere today, and so it's very humbling to be here hearing fish and seeing fish and do a video for you guys. Hey, that's what I'm here for. Show you guys and tell you guys about tips that can help you out. All right, let me get to those tips, but first let me show you the layout of my kayak. This is kind of what I got going today. Now, on another day, I might not be carrying a spinning rod, probably wouldn't be. You know, great thing about having a kayak is not that you can fish from it, is that you can go to places, get out like I'm out right now, wade around, avoid the snakes, of course, wade around and fish. It's all very stealthy compared to a glitter boat, don't you think? Let me back off here and see if I can show you what all we got. All right, here we go. Right here, getting a little deep hole. There we go. Anchor off the back. Got the crate right there. You can see the wind really wants to take this thing. Basically, I'm a ram mount guy. So I like ram mounts because they work for my cameras and everything else. That's what you might want to think about. But let me show you something. One tip right away. Let me show you this, okay? This is pretty easy and simple. If you carry one of these guys, you're going to gain about 3 inches of height in your kayak, and that will get you 3 inches further off the water. This guy is really low. I have not, and this is not this is not one of these paddle things. It has no other mechanics in it, because this is my boat for Devil's River whenever that happens, if ever that happens, if I live long enough. So there you go. There's the layout. Simplicity and space is what it's all about for me when it comes to a kayak nowadays. Lots of room to carry lots of stuff for long haul. All right, let me set this down. I'm going to show you some techniques that on the rod that will help you do some better casting. Imagine this is that if you are a fly fisherman, you have stood in a stream that's at least this deep. My waist and my buttocks are about to the seat height right here, but I'm in the water. This is the same thing, people. So what that means is you can use what you know about walking, wading, and flowing rivers, or in places like this where you're in this deep, translate that to what you do with a fly rod. Now, one thing that'll help you always is one of my fly line mats. You know that already. Hopefully you have one. This is the kayak size one with the ties, with the actual holes right here. It's called the Tickler. Come and get you one. Here we go. All right. 8-weight rod, great for right now, and coaxing those bass out of the trees. Here's your first tip. Okay, so I'm in pretty deep water, eh? But you're gonna be in your kayak. I left my drag on. Big mistake there. Okay. But there's fish out there. So here's how it goes, people. Show you real quick. What you want to do is take that elbow, seated position right here. Take that elbow, go ahead and violate Lefty's laws. Take that elbow and bring it out like this, okay? That'll get your rod away and higher off the water. And what that'll do is help you clear the water on your back cast. We're not as worried about your forward cast as we are your back cast. But here's how it goes. You just lift that elbow up like that. Suddenly you have a lot more clearance to work with when it comes to clearing the water on your back cast. And this is another reason why we have to pay attention to our back cast. This is when you get in trouble. When your back cast hits the water in the kayak, and then your forward, it just ruins everything. So you got to get that elbow up. These are techniques that you can also use on the Gulf Coast if you're in deeper water. Sometimes we're not in ankle deep gin clear. Sometimes the water's a little deeper, you know. And that means that we have to adapt and improvise. Let me show you one more time. I'll tell you what, let me go the other direction this time so you can see it better up. Let's turn this all this way just a little bit. There we go. It's turning on its own. The wind is so bad. Okay, just like that. So your elbow goes up. That right there. So with the elbow up, you can get more clearance off your boat, which is on the water, and you're barely well, like at water level. So that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to clear the water on the back cast. And that's the second technique. Just take that elbow, bring it out like this. It's about 90 degrees. 90 degrees is fine. And then you have more clearance. Also, remember, with a Lefty Kreh cast, that tip of that rod can be lowered or raised up. So you can also raise your tip up too. So now we got our elbow up and the tip of the rod up. And we clear everything just fine. Boy, the fish are just moving in here like crazy right now. This is crazy out here. I can catch one for you. Like that. Ooh. Wind's kicking on, people. Wind's kicking on pretty good. So those are a couple of techniques. Raise your seat with one of these guys right here. Raise your seat with one of these guys right here. I want to do that. It gets you in the wind now. The wind's going to hit you more, but it'll get you elevated off that low seat. These seats are so low in these canoe things. This is a canoe really more than it is a kayak. They just kind of adapted it. But that is what we do. If you have a good cast, people, if you don't have a good cast to start with, you got a problem in a kayak, okay? Or wading or anything else. So your cast has to be at least good for you to be able to pull all this off. If you got no cast, you got no chance, people. That's the way it works on this fly fishing thing. Start with a good cast, okay? And then we work on that with changing the arm position and the rod tip position. So we're working on the arm position, the rod tip position. Not a problem, right? Keep that in mind. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps you guys cast from a kayak or canoe or whatever you might be in. These are techniques I learned. I've been out of a kayak for a long time and on a skiff, and so it's really hard to get my mind back into this kind of a setting. But here we are. I think I'm gonna stand here and fish a little bit, maybe try to catch a fish. What do you think? Sure seems like it's possible right now. All right, guys, from the deck, let me show you how this elbow raise thing looks in practice. It looks about like that. And there we go. It's all gone. Downwind, down range. It's there. And I'm getting ready to get blown over here into some serious wind currents. And I don't want to play with that. I see fish out there. I see bait. I'm probably going to come out pull out the old spinning rod, the old good old spinning rod, and see what it will do. This wind is just incredible still. And that's just another factor, because fly fishing from a kayak is like balancing a marble on top of a marble. It is so freaking hard. One thing you'll notice when you're doing this is that your upper body will make the kayak move back and forth. If you don't have pedal power or any other kind of, if you're not anchored, then you're going to be going backwards and forwards along with everything else that's going on in your life with the kayak and a fly rod. That it just adds to the charm of the whole thing, if you know what I mean. Don't forget your fly mat right there. If you keep this in the boat, that's okay. Just like that. There's a lot more coming, end to end. If you watch the whole video, that helps me a whole lot. It helps more than subscribing, helps more than liking. So hang in there and watch these videos. There's always something good at the very end. Thank you.